father's heartbreak and anger.
I am reeling from the revelations of what these people said.
The LA City Council president and a labor leader stepped down.
Trusted servants who voiced hate and bile.
Los Angeles City Hall in turmoil as the White House calls for more heads to roll.
They all should resign.
The meeting secretly recorded and the chaos still unfolding. Midterm elections 4 weeks from today, what the polls are saying, and Steve Kornacki breaks down the razor-thin margins. A daring escape. A woman claiming she was kidnapped and raped breaks free from a basement prison and takes off running. Meta reveals its new virtual reality headset, a tour, and the price tag, plus the billions Mark Zuckerberg has lost on his metaverse gamble. The World Bank ramps up recession fears, warning the worst is yet to come. Ukraine's Zelensky asks for air defense and new Russian sanctions. And a daring rescue in shark-infested waters. Vladimir Putin will face severe consequences if Russia uses chemical, biological, or nuclear weapons in Ukraine. That warning today from President Biden and other G7 leaders at a virtual emergency summit. They pledged to stand firmly with Ukraine, or firmly, I should say, as Russian forces continue their relentless attacks on civilian targets across the country. Russian military officials say this video shows a ship launching long-range precision missiles. They claim all designated facilities had been hit. One of the targets, the southern city of Zaporizhia. Ukrainian officials say 12 Russian missiles hit not military targets, but civilian, a school, residential buildings, and medical facilities. And the majority of Americans think otherwise. The results of a new poll coming up. And Meta's new headset for the metaverse. What it does, how much it costs, and can it help bail Mark Zuckerberg out of the historic financial hole into which his fortune has fallen? Why officials in Las Vegas cannot search the phone or computer of a murdered journalist. A district judge there granted a preliminary injunction today. It blocks police, prosecutors, and public defenders from combing through the reporter's devices for now. The late journalist Jeff Garman, cops found him stabbed to death outside his home early last month. They arrested this man, Robert Tellis, an elected public official, and charged him with Garman's murder. Garman worked at the Las Vegas Review-Journal newspaper. Earlier this year, he reported on turmoil in Tellis' office. His article cited office employees.
Minutes, but it actually slowed it by 32 minutes.
Traveling at 14,000 miles per hour, DART's nose camera caught the final seconds before impact. While the asteroid poses no risk to us, NASA is hoping it can one day use the same technique to divert a massive meteor on a collision course with Earth, a so-called planet killer like the one that killed off the dinosaurs 65 million years ago.
Warning time is really key here in order to enable this sort of asteroid deflection to potentially be used in the future.
NASA says it's not tracking any asteroid known to pose an imminent threat to Earth, but there may be others it doesn't see. Ideally, scientists...
The investigation after a woman wearing only a trash bag and a homemade dog collar escapes her basement prison and runs for her life. How she was able to get away, as we hear from the neighbors who rushed to the rescue. Dozens of children and adults rushed to a hospital from a daycare in Pennsylvania this morning. What made them all so sick? Charles, he's already king. King Charles happened automatically just as soon as his mother, the Queen, died last month. But now, Saturday, May the 6th, 2023, the important votes, the Fat Bear Week vote. Fat's where it's at. Voting is online and open to the public. For each bear matchup, voters are instructed to choose the one that, quote, best exemplifies fatness. Surrounded by sharks and floating for more than a day, rescued from the Gulf of Mexico on a Sunday afternoon, and according to Coast Guard rescue divers, it barely happened in time. Coast Guard crews found the three men floating about 25 miles off Empire, Louisiana, about an hour south of New Orleans. They had been out there on the water since Saturday, 96. 65